There's no such thing as Aspergers were the words I heard, despite even leading experts still using the terms Aspergers and Aspies to differentiate the different sides of the spectrum that one is located. Technically, they were right. Someone somewhere decided to fold Aspergers into the autism spectrum disorder label. After all, there are many different views of what Aspergers is and what it means. On one side it means quirky, bright and often gifted. And on the other side it shows that here it is now called the autism spectrum disorder and they tune out after they hear the word autism. What does Asperger's mean for you? This is something that I really had to wrap my head around after I was told that I was bordering on being evangelical towards the name Asperger's. Being evangelical and an advocate are two different things to me. The first preaches and does not care who's listening, whilst the latter seeks to educate those who do not know better. Maybe it's just a perspective which makes these two different. I come from a world where I live with Asperger's every day of my life. I'm an Aspie dad. 4 out of my 5 kids were diagnosed with high-functioning autism, which is the DSM's way of saying different. I watched as day after day my family would come across someone who made their mind up the moment the word autism was mentioned. Meanwhile, I was learning how best to cope with the unique problems that my kids were experiencing. Something which was simple to others was a fight for their lives. Everything was too hard. Every day was a battle just to breathe. It got to a crunch point when my daughter came to me in tears and asked, "Dad, how do I make friends?" Suddenly all the focus on lunches and uniforms and timetables went out the door. I wondered if I had failed my own child. Did I forget to show her how to make a friend? I started to pull apart every book, online resource and physical training that I could get my hands on. Surely in the wisdom of others, there were road signs that would help me to help my kids. I scoured for any gems that would be able to ease their burdens. And then it happened. My daughter came home and with tears in her eyes, she told me that she had made a friend. She was crying because she didn't feel she deserved a friend. Bit by bit, sure enough, I started to work with all of my kids to help them with any areas they felt they needed some strengthening. And what seemed after such a short period of time, one by one, they seemed to start to find their own place. My daughters all learned the value of friendship. My sons took lead places in their school concerts. One of my sons even began to up the ante. By the end of his grade 3, he was not only socially popular, but he had increased his mathematic ability to 2 year levels above the brightest kid in his grade. Now, did I work out all the answers? Not at all. All of my Aspie kids still have their bad days, and who doesn't? Energy levels and emotional exhaustion are still an all too familiar friend. But somewhere along the way, each of them learned value and skills that allowed them to improve their lives to the next level. So given the option of either being evangelical toward the reality of the struggles of my family, or to put my head in the sand and ignore my children spiraling downward, I'll take the supportive stance every single time. No more will I sit quietly by while someone with their little to no understanding treats my children like they cannot. The reality is, with the right support, they can. Asperger's Academy is the result of my belief that anyone with Asperger's can improve their life, even if it is one step at a time. If you or someone you know is an Aspie, or high-functioning autism class 1 as the DSM calls it, consider for a moment how life would be different with improvements in social skills, general communication, learning strategies, more emotional strength, and the ability to put self-esteem in its place. To find out more about what skills Asperger's Academy will offer, or to be notified of when we officially launch, simply enter your name and email below and I'll make sure to contact you personally when we officially launch. I'm Andrew Power. Thanks a lot for your time and have a great day.